Then another technique, the second narrative technique, allusion. What is allusion? An allusion is an indirect or passing reference to another literary or historical work, figure, place, or events. Understood? What is an allusion? An allusion is an indirect or passing reference, an indirect reference or a passing reference to another literary or historical work, figure, place, or event. Indirect reference to another one. I will give you examples and then you will understand. A writer also shares the knowledge. In Western literature, allusions to biblical figures and Greek mythology. Usually in Western literature, you will see allusions to Bible, references to the Bible figures, then Greek mythology. Then allusions allow writers to express complex ideas and emotions in a simplified way by drawing comparisons, packing several layers of meaning in just a few sentences. By using this technique of allusion, it's very easy for the writer to present a complicated idea. By giving the indirect reference to another important thing. Understood? Then in that way, things are presented. A complicated idea is presented in an easy way by making the event having an indirect reference to another important thing. In Western literature, you will see plenty of biblical allusions, then Greek mythology, etc. And then see Chinua Achebe. You have studied Chinua Achebe in the last semester. And there I told you that he had written an important, very significant, a very popular novel called Things Fall Apart. See, what is the title of the fiction? Things Fall Apart. And here it has an allusion to W.B. Yeats's poem, The Second Coming. Understood? I told you that allusion, this technique, the second technique, it is an easy way to present a complicated idea to the reader. By having the thing an indirect reference to an important thing or event or a historical work. A good example, that example will explain the thing. Chinua Achebe. I told you, you know about Chinua Achebe. You have studied about Achebe in the last semester. And I have referred to an important work by Achebe, that is Things Fall Apart. Things Fall Apart. And when you see the title itself, a lot of things are conveyed. See, the idea of William Butler's poem, The Second Coming, comes to our mind. See, Second Coming is a very important poem by W.B. Yeats. It has a biblical reference to the second coming of Christ. But here, second coming, in second coming, there are four important lines which presents clearly the post-war world, the degeneration that has happened to the post-war world. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer, center cannot hold, mere anarchy is ruled upon the world. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer, things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. These are the four lines by William Butler Yeats. It's a very famous poem which predicts the present generation, and it presents the post-war world. And see, there things fall apart is used by William Butler Yeats. It is a very suggestive phrase. What has happened in the post-war world? How anarchy rules in this world. Nothing can control the people. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. And so in order to bring out that point, things fall apart. William Butler uses it in his famous poem Second Coming. And the reader who knows this phrase, things fall apart, will be getting a reference to Chinua Achebe's work, Things Fall Apart. Understood? For Achebe, it is an easy thing. See, a complicated idea is conveyed by making an indirect reference to a popular work in literature. This is called allusion. Hope you have understood it. And then another narrative technique, symbol. A symbol is anything that stands for or represent something else. See, what is a symbol? That is another use of symbols is another narrative technique. See, the writer is always trying to captivate the reader to get his attention. And so he uses symbols. Symbol always stands for something else. National flag is a symbol. The 5 interconnected Olympic rings. See, these are all symbols. In literature, a symbol is a specially evocative kind of image. See, in literature, roses, snakes, birds, voyages, everything is a symbol. In Moby Dick, I'm repeating the example of Moby Dick because you have to study Moby Dick. You have the film version. Moby Dick, the white whale is symbolic of many things. That when you go through the film, you will understand. The white whale or Moby Dick is symbolic of many things. Understood? And so the third narrative technique is the use of symbols. What is a symbol? Symbol is anything that stands for or represents something else. Understood? Something is anything. A symbol can be anything that can stand for something else. And then another technique, irony. Irony refers to the technique of implying something very different from what one says. See, irony is another narrative technique. That is, writer will write something or he will say something but he will mean differently. Understood? Irony, he will say something and he will mean something else. Example, a good example, again from the same text, Julius Caesar. After the murder of Julius Caesar, Mark Antony makes a funeral speech. There he repeatedly uses a line, Brutus is an honorable man. Again and again he recounts everything, and in between he always says Brutus is an honorable man. And what is the meaning? The negative meaning. Brutus, he was a close friend of Julius Caesar. He has no right to kill, to join the conspiracy. And Julius Caesar was defeated, and Julius Caesar became so stunned when he saw his friend Marcus Brutus along with the conspirators. And when he saw Brutus with a knife, he says, and so that is, if Brutus wills my death, I don't want to live. You too, Brutus, then falls Caesar. These are the famous lines which everybody knows. Understood? And so Julius Caesar was killed by conspirators, and his friend Marcus Brutus joins the conspiracy. And when Brutus attacks him, Julius Caesar doesn't want to live. He lost his desire to live. You too, Brutus, then falls Caesar. These were the last words of Julius Caesar. And so about that Brutus, Mark Antony in the funeral speech says, Brutus is an honorable man. He repeats it, Brutus is an honorable man. And then there the meaning is different. Brutus is not an honorable man. He is a cheat. He has cheated his best friend. Understood? And so irony means saying something and meaning something else. And then another technique, Deus ex machina, Deus ex machina, that is God from a machine. It's a Latin phrase. Another technique that is used is Deus ex machina. It is a Latin phrase meaning God from a machine. That is the mechanical device used in the ancient theatre to transport deities onto the stage at a critical point to resolve an irresolvable conflict. That is Deus ex machina. It's again another technique. That is when a situation becomes very serious, gods and deities are brought to the stage to solve the problem. Again, an example again from William Shakespeare's comedy, As You Like It. Here, Hymen comes to the stage to marry off the main characters. Understood? And so any improbable or unexpected contrivance by which an author resolves the complications of the plot in a play or novel. And so Deus ex machina, it actually, the meaning is that the literal meaning is God from a machine. Actually, here it is a mechanical device used in ancient theatre. In the ancient theatres, what happens is that in order to solve some important issues, gods or deities will come to the stage to solve the issue. And an example is in As You Like It. In As You Like It by Shakespeare, Hymen, god Hymen comes to the stage to marry off the main characters. And so now, see, that is the ancient meaning, bringing gods to the stage to solve issues. But now, Deus ex machina means anything, any contrivance that is used by the writer to resolve the complications of a plot. Understood? Any contrivance, any method that is used by the writer to solve the complications of the plot in a play. Hope you have understood these techniques. There are more narrative techniques which we will discuss in the next class. And so, thank you so much.